What's up, everybody? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, October 6, 2018. News, good news, pouring into the markets, paths being built, doors being opened for institutional money to pour into cryptocurrency. Why is price stagnant, moving sideways? Why are we not mooning, right? Why is it not reflecting in the price? That's what we're going to try and answer in today's video. So let's jump right in and talk about this. This first article I came across, leading investor, crypto news isn't a catalyst. Bitcoin will bottom soon. Spencer Bogart of Blockchain Capital was on CNBC Fast Money. Here's the tweet. After a flood of good news this week, Bitcoin is flat, but Creme de la Crypto says it just marked a bottom. And here we go. So drawing connection to some of this week's crypto-related hottest news, he explained, I would say that the lack of movement is a function of the markets. This is a great point. I love this point. Look, towards the end of last year, when we were at the peak of the market, bad news seemed to have no effect on the market. Very true. So now we're seeing the other side of that, where we have a week of amazing news with TD, Rick Edelman, and Yale entering the cryptosphere, but this having no effect on price. And that's what everybody's like scratching their heads. Why? While the market hasn't performed how this week's news cycle would suggest, Bogart, an intrepid cryptocurrency analyst, added that what is important is that this news will become important building blocks, or cornerstones, if you will, that will lead more institutional capital and interest in the space. TD Ameritrade's ErisX, for example, will allow the financial institution's 11 million customers gain access to easy-to-use, investor-oriented, spot and physically delivered cryptocurrency trading features, which will undoubtedly dictate how this market operates moving forward. So I love what Bogart said, building blocks, right? Like the cornerstone. And that's so true. Just because we're not getting that initial bump in price or we're not seeing it reflected in price really is consistent with the past and how cryptocurrency does operate. And if you really liken it to, like Bogart did, to the bear market or to the bull market that we had at the end of 2017, there was bad news coming out. There were some crazy things happening. And the price kept going up. So Bogart also drew attention to the Yale University news, adding that even though the David Swensen run $29.4 billion endowment is investing into crypto via venture funds instead of a physical crypto assets, it is bullish news without a doubt. Continues. We are down 70% from our highs, so I think that Bitcoin is close to bottoming, and so is the rest of the crypto market. But I do think that it may take a little bit of time. So that's the question, right? That is the question. We have, and you can look at the chart, here's what he's talking about. We're basically, and I'll move it up here, we're around 70% down from all-time highs, right, in the market right now. And you can remember that last bear market we had a few years ago, down 85%. So the question that kind of is on my mind, I think it's on a lot of people's mind, is this truly the bottom? I think most people can agree we're close to the bottom, even if we have some ways to go. And say worst case scenarios, we actually hit 85% like that last bear market, and we hit a $3,000 Bitcoin. I think one way or the other, we're at a very critical stage because we are trading so sideways. And this article kind of ends speaking to what might be actually happening right now towards this bottom of Bitcoin. So he says, giving CNBC viewers something to visualize, the CFA certified blockchain capital partner closed off his time on Fast Money, explaining that the news of today can be likened to kindling that will eventually be part of crypto's next bonfire or bull run, in other terms. So basically, when you're looking at this chart, 70% down, whether it's 70% down or 85% down, the point that I think is well taken, at least from my perspective, is right now in this zone that we're in, after all these losses, we are in this kindling phase, right? And these doorways are being opened for huge money to come in and adoption to find its place in the markets. Now is that time, and it will be reflected in the markets one way or another eventually. So kind of moving on along the same type of path with what we're talking about, which is price, namely, there are some things to keep in mind. And this article on CCN was pretty interesting to me. So it starts overall, Bitcoin has lost around 20 to 30% of its volume in the past 2 days, which has prevented the cryptocurrency market from initiating a large movement on the upside. Everybody has been in the last few days expecting a move to the upside. There simply has not been volume. And if you don't have the volume, you're not going to get that move. Bear bias, but breakout should be considered. Given the low volume of Bitcoin and the weakening $6,500 support in the short term, it is highly likely for Bitcoin to record a minor decline in value based on technical indicators and its price trend since mid-September. And we talked about this last night in the technical analysis video, possibly retesting on the downside that $6,000 area. It continues, however, the stability of Bitcoin and the unpredictable nature of the digital asset leaves a breakout of the $6,800 resistance level still a possibility. So for me, in our technical analysis we did last night, our resistance level was $6,900 to $7,100, playing off of the Fibonacci 618 to 786 range. But they have it at $6,800, close enough to what we're eyeing up. Continues, some traders in the cryptocurrency community have started to place long-term long positions. But as widely recognized technical analyst Crypto Yoda explained, it's still risky at this phase of the market to enter a long position. This is something I want to ask everybody out there that's watching right now. Whether this is the bottom right here, or say we do go and we get an 85% total retracement down and we hit $3,000 and we're kind of, the bottom is somewhere in here. Do you agree with Crypto Yoda, which I believe was the name that was just quoted? Do you agree that, yes, it was Crypto Yoda. Do you agree that it still is risky to enter a long position at these levels? We've retraced 70%. Is now not a good time to really start averaging in your long position, at least averaging in and saving fiat in case a worst case scenario comes into play and we do hit $3,000 or so and accumulating below where we are now? I think, and this is completely my opinion, this is not financial advice, I think now is not a bad time to start accumulating your long positions, because at the end of the day, even if the worst case scenario happens and you've accumulated some here and we actually do dip to $3,000, right? It gives you the opportunity to average in and dollar cost average in and bring your average down, right? But even if we do hit $3,000, if you're truly long, if you're truly entering a long position, most likely, if you're holding anyway, it doesn't matter that we've retraced back down. And most likely, if you're long in this market, it will pan out for you, right? Nobody knows. This is a risk tolerance type of scenario. It's completely unique and up to you. Nobody can tell you what to do. Those are just my thoughts. I don't think now is a bad time to start averaging in your long position. But yes, definitely can be risky, especially if you're playing with money that you just can't afford to lose. Then it goes on, stability expected. In August, several analysts predicted the price of Bitcoin to achieve $8,000 to $9,000 by the end of October. I mean, that's less than a month. Several analysts predicting $8,000 to $9,000 by the end of October, with backed Coinbase custody and major financial institutions serving investors in the market. Traders remain confident in the next rally of leading cryptocurrencies. And I mean, just you think of backed, you think of Coinbase, right? And here's an older article, I think from August. Currently, Coinbase counts the fund's autonomous partners, Polychain Cap and Multicoin Cap, among its custody customers. The company says it aims to have more than 100 institutional customers and store at least $20 billion under custody by the end of 2019. So that's just one thing amongst all the things that we just talked about that are happening in the space, the paths that are being laid out, the doors that are being opened. I think at the end of the day, what we all need to do is just be patient, is just really analyze our risk tolerance and be patient. That's it, right? And not spend more money than you can afford to lose. I think that's very important. But let me know your thoughts on all of this. Do you think we found a bottom? And what are your thoughts on this whole thing about news affecting price? Do you think it affects price? Because obviously, thus far, in the last couple of months, it really hasn't, all the good news coming out. I really, truly appreciate you coming by. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I would love to have you as part of the channel. Thank you so much again. Have an awesome Saturday. I will see you in the next video, and God bless.